For almost 20 years, one single program has really defined India's rural employment safety net, MGNREGA. But now, a major overhaul is here. So today, we're going to dig into this massive policy shift, from that landmark act to its successor, the new GRAMG Act of 2025.
So that raises some big questions, right? Why would you replace such a foundational program, and what does this new act actually do differently? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack in this explainer, using the official documents to guide us through it all.
First things first, let's set the stage. The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, or MGNREGA as we all know it, wasn't just another government program when it launched back in 2005. No, it was a total game changer.
The whole idea, the core of it, was this simple but really powerful promise: 100 days of guaranteed wage work for any rural household that asked for it. This became the absolute bedrock of livelihood security for millions and millions of people.
And look, it definitely had some real wins. It helped stabilize incomes, especially for women. Their participation saw a really significant jump. Plus, it kind of nudged the whole system into the digital age with things like Aadhaar-based payments and geotagging assets to actually track the progress.
Okay, so if it achieves so much, why the need to completely replace it? This brings us to the core reason for a whole new legal framework.
And here's the thing you really got to understand. The rural India of today is just vastly different from the one back in 2005 when MGNRGA was first created. I mean, think about it. Incomes are up, people are more connected, and there are way more diverse job opportunities out there.
And the numbers really tell the story here. Just look at this. Rural poverty has dropped dramatically, from over a quarter of the population in 2011-12 down to just over 5% in 2022-23. That is a massive, fundamental shift in the economic landscape.
So, according to the Press Information Bureau, the official thinking was that despite all its successes, the program had pretty much hit its ceiling. Persistent problems like misuse of funds and a big gap between the money spent and the actual assets created on the ground. It showed that the old framework just couldn't be stretched any further.
And that's where the new solution comes in, the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin Act, or just GRAM, G for short. And this isn't just a minor tweak, you guys. It's a complete legislative reset.
All right, so this here is a great snapshot of the new Act's whole vision. You can see the key features jump right out: an enhanced employment guarantee, a much sharper focus on priority areas, a more predictable way of funding it all, and much stronger oversight. So let's dive into some of the biggest changes, shall we?
First up, the big one, the headline number everyone's talking about. The guaranteed employment is getting a boost, up from 100 days to 125 days per household. That's a pretty straightforward boost in potential income security for families.
But here's the catch. It's not just about more workdays, it's about smarter workdays. The new act is way more strategic. All the work is now focused on 4 key areas. We're talking water security, core infrastructure, livelihood support, and climate resilience. The whole point is to build this one unified national rural infrastructure stack.
Okay, so let's do a real head-to-head comparison here. How does the new GRAMG Act really stack up against the old MGNRGA?
And you don't have to take my word for it. This table, straight from the ministry, lays it all out for us. You can clearly see the jump from 100 to 125 days, the shift from a bunch of scattered work categories to those 4 defined priority areas, and, this is really crucial, some major changes to how it's all funded and how costs are shared.
Let's zoom in on that last point because, honestly, the funding is one of the most fundamental changes here. So how does it actually work now?
Okay, so under the old system, MGNREGA, funding was demand-based. And that sounds good, but it often meant budgets were all over the place, totally unpredictable. The GRMG Act switches to what's called normative funding. Basically, this means the central government provides a predictable state-by-state allocation based on objective criteria. The whole idea here is to get better planning and a more stable partnership between the center and states, all while still protecting that legal right to employment. Another massive upgrade is on the tech side of things. The new act is embedding all sorts of modern tools. We're talking biometric authentication for workers, real-time monitoring on mobile apps, and geospatial tech for better planning of work sites. Heck, it's even using AI to sniff out fraud, which is a huge leap forward for transparency and accountability.
All right, so we've got all these new rules, new tech. What does it all actually mean on the ground? Let's take a look at what this new framework is supposed to mean for the rural economy,
for farmers, and for the laborers themselves.
So for the rural economy as a whole, the goal is to kickstart this positive feedback loop. The work done under the Act builds real, productive assets, like better water security, improved roads, stronger climate resilience, and that in turn boosts local consumption and hopefully reduces the need for people to migrate for work out of desperation.
Now, what about the farmers? Well, there are some really specific, targeted benefits for them. The Act actually has a rule that lets states pause the work for up to 60 days during peak farming seasons, making sure there's enough labor available. And on top of that, all this new focus on better irrigation and storage, well, that directly helps them cut their risks and their losses.
And of course, at the end of the day, what about the laborers themselves? For them, the benefits are pretty clear-cut. A higher earning potential with those 125 guaranteed workdays, more predictable work thanks to better local planning, and stronger legal protections. And get this, if work isn't provided within 15 days, states are now on the hook to pay a daily unemployment allowance. That's a real safety net.
So, when you step back and look at it, the GRAM-G Act isn't just a patch or an update. It's a complete reimagining of rural employment in India. It's definitely more ambitious, more structured, and way more integrated with technology than anything before it. But the big question, the one that really matters, is this. Will this new, complex, tech-heavy architecture actually deliver on that massive promise of building a Viksit Bharat, a truly developed and prosperous rural India? Only time will tell.